You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it.
Did you know that Rami Malek won an Oscar for his stunning portrayal of Freddie Mercury? Or that J-Lo shone as the Queen of Tejano music, despite not being the top choice for the role? Today, you'll discover 20 actors who look just like their real-life counterparts. Let's watch it. It's fascinating. Rami Malek, Freddie Mercury. The actor, who until then had taken on relatively minor roles, suddenly found himself in the global spotlight when he took on the challenge of portraying the incomparable Queen frontman in Bohemian Rhapsody. This role not only marked his rise to stardom, but also allowed him to pay tribute to one of the most admired musicians of all time. To capture Freddie Mercury's charisma, Rami immersed himself in an intense preparation process, meticulously studying hundreds of recordings to analyze every movement, gesture, and expression. The result of his dedication is particularly evident in the recreation of the famous 1985 Live Aid concert, where he didn't just mimic Freddie but embodied him in all his glory, transporting the audience back to one of rock history's most electrifying moments. It's important to note that Freddie Mercury was an irreplaceable artist and a genius with overwhelming charisma, but even though no one could ever replace him, Rami Malek achieved something extraordinary. He brought him back to life, even if only for a couple of hours, in a powerful and authentic performance that earned him the Oscar for Best Actor. Jennifer Lopez, Selena. When the production of the film about Selena's life began, finding the perfect actress to fill the void left by the legendary singer was a monumental task. Among the 21,000 actresses who auditioned, Salma Hayek was the producer's favorite. However, the Mexican star turned down the role, leading Jennifer Lopez to be cast as the Queen of Tejano music. Initially, there were many doubts, as some questioned whether J-Lo, with her Puerto Rican heritage, could bring Selena to life and honor her Mexican heritage. These questions loomed in the minds of critics and fans alike, but once the film was released, The New Yorker not only dispelled those doubts, but left everyone breathless. Though her experience in film and music was limited at the time, she managed to bring to life Selena's gestures and expressions, making the Como la Flor singer one of the most beloved and admired stars of her time. Undoubtedly, this was Jennifer Lopez's breakout role, and in addition to receiving a Golden Globe nomination, she established herself as a talented actress and singer with a career spanning over 30 years. Emma Corrin, Princess Diana. The Crown is the series that captures the fascinating and complex story of the British royal family. But when it comes to iconic and beloved characters like Princess Diana, finding the perfect actress is a task of biblical proportions. With the arrival of the third season, the producers needed to find someone who could not only portray her with emotional depth, but also capture her unmistakable appearance and natural charisma. Choosing Emma Corrin for the role was a stroke of genius. From the moment she appeared on screen, fans were amazed by the remarkable resemblance between the actress and Princess Diana. To enhance the level of realism, every detail was meticulously attended to, from the wardrobe that evoked Diana's style, to the facial expressions that conveyed both her joy and sadness, her way of smiling, and of course, a voice that resonated with the same softness and grace. Emma's dedication to capturing Lady Di's essence was evident in every scene, so it's no surprise that her performance was praised by critics and viewers alike. The only detail is that the princess was 5 centimeters taller, but this difference disappears when Emma appears on screen, showing the life and spirit of a woman who left an indelible mark on history. Gary Oldman, Winston Churchill. In Darkest Hour, Gary Oldman faced the formidable challenge of portraying Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister during World War II. To achieve this transformation, Oldman underwent an exhaustive process of makeup and wardrobe that made him an almost perfect reflection of the historic leader. For 4 hours daily, a team of makeup experts applied facial prosthetics covering his neck, cheeks, nose, and chin. These meticulously designed prosthetics altered his face so that only his lips and forehead remained natural, allowing him to express Churchill's emotions authentically. But the transformation didn't stop there. He also shaved his head completely to facilitate the placement of a wig, which altered the shape of his face and head to accentuate his resemblance to the politician. To complete the look, A custom-made foam suit was designed to add the characteristic body volume of the Prime Minister. Moreover, Churchill's distinctive voice was a crucial aspect of the performance, so Gary worked with a dialect coach to learn the tone, cadence, and resonance of the British statesman. The result was a performance that amazed audience. Taron Egerton, Elton John. Rocket Man is a journey through the highs and lows of the life of one of music's greatest legends. From early career struggles to his meteoric rise to global fame, the film captures every emotion, struggle, and triumph in the life of this extraordinary artist. To bring this story to life, Sir Elton made a crucial decision. He personally chose Taron Egerton to portray him on screen. This choice wasn't random. They spent countless hours exploring the complexities of the superstar and the man behind the sunglasses. To highlight the physical resemblance between them, makeup artist Lizzie Yianni Giorgio revealed that instead of overloading the actor's face with makeup, she opted for a subtler approach, allowing the costume and hairstyle to evolve with each era of Elton's career. But the magic of Rocket Man didn't stop at the visuals. In a bold move, the musician insisted that the actor portraying him not only act, but also sing every song in the film. Taron Egerton accepted the challenge and exceeded all expectations, as his vocal performances were so impressive that Elton John himself was astonished, declaring that he had never heard anyone sing his songs with such perfection. Michelle Williams, Marilyn Monroe. From the day production began on My Week with Marilyn, the casting of Michelle Williams as the biggest star of Hollywood's golden age was met with some uncertainty. With a smaller and lighter physique than the diva, she didn't seem like the ideal physical match, but what she lacked in resemblance, she made up for with a masterful performance and meticulous transformation. The makeup and wardrobe team worked in perfect harmony to help her channel her character. By using carefully placed padding in her clothing, the actress approximated the legendary curves of the star from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. But the real magic happened when Michelle immersed herself in the role, revealing the vulnerability and charisma that made Marilyn an immortal icon. The wardrobe challenge was particularly complicated due to the modest budget of just $10 million. Since each dress was invaluable and irreplaceable, the lead actress had to exercise extreme care during filming. Despite these limitations, Michelle Williams delivered a portrayal of Marilyn Monroe that was so captivating and authentic that she won the Golden Globe for Best Actress and was nominated for an Oscar in the same category. Helen Mirren, Queen Elizabeth II. Portraying a figure as enigmatic and reserved as Queen Elizabeth II is a challenge that very few actresses would willingly undertake. As the sovereign of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, she maintained an aura of coldness and distance, complicating the task for actors trying to bring her life to the screen. When Helen Mirren took on the role of the Queen in the film The Queen, which focuses on the turbulent period following Princess Diana's death, she knew she had to go beyond mere appearances. It wasn't just about replicating the regal composure and behavior, but delving into the emotional nuances of a woman caught between her duty and her humanity. Thanks to her dedication, Helen conveyed the calculated coldness required by the situation, while also revealing the humor, charm, and hidden facets of the Queen that she rarely showed to the public. With a height and facial structure similar to the monarch's, the makeup team only needed a wig and minor adjustments to complete the physical transformation. Still, it was Helen's ability to capture even the subtlest expressions of the Queen that earned her an Oscar and a Golden Globe for Best Actress. Eddie Redmayne, Stephen Hawking. The theory of everything cemented Eddie Redmayne as one of the most talented actors of his generation after he won the Oscar for Best Actor for his extraordinary portrayal of Stephen Hawking. The challenge of bringing to life one of the brightest scientists of the 20th century was no easy feat, especially as it involved capturing the devastating progression of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a disease that slowly paralyzed the physicist's body and made him unable to speak without the aid of an electronic device. From the film's start, when Hawking was a healthy 21-year-old student full of vitality, to the later stages of his life when the disease took hold, Eddie underwent an exhaustive physical transformation. Makeup specialists created detailed molds of his face and mouth to reflect the unique effects of aging in ALS patients. Additionally, a series of prosthetics for the ears and mouthpieces helped show the changes caused by the disease. In the final scenes, where Hawking appears completely debilitated, prosthetics for the shoulders, knees, and hands were used to emphasize his physical frailty. Finally, larger-sized clothing and an oversized wheelchair completed the transformation, allowing Eddie to portray the physical reduction of Hawking as the disease fully took over his body. Jonathan Pryce, Pope Francis. The incredible natural resemblance between Welsh actor Jonathan Pryce and the Pope was just the beginning of a transformation that left everyone breathless. With just a touch of makeup and the right wardrobe, Pryce became Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the 266th Pope of the Catholic Church, in the acclaimed film The Two Popes. But his work didn't stop at physical appearance. The British artist delved deeply into the personality of a man who has influenced millions of believers. At the start of production, Jonathan spent countless hours watching videos of Pope Francis, absorbing every detail to master his walk, voice tone, and the unique way he addressed topics with unmistakable delicacy. This research was just the first step, as Jonathan also traveled to Argentina to interview people who knew Bergoglio before his rise to the Vatican. Among these conversations, he heard accounts of a serious man who was rarely seen smiling. So, using this information and a key video from his time as Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he built a performance so accurate and powerful that it earned him an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. Salma Hayek, Frida Kahlo. In addition to making a massive impact on the art world, Mexican painter Frida Kahlo also captivated everyone with her unique and vibrant style. This essential aspect of her life was masterfully depicted by Salma Hayek in the film Frida, where she dazzled with over 50 meticulously selected outfits, reflecting the artist's style. Whether it was traditional Oaxacan blouses purchased in the heart of Oaxaca or beaded jewelry bought from street vendors in Mexico City, every piece was crucial in recreating Frida's colorful world. Still, Salma's transformation wasn't limited to wardrobe alone. With a subtle touch of makeup, she achieved a metamorphosis that went beyond the physical. Although initially the producers tried to soften the painter's signature unibrow, the actress insisted on keeping it, arguing that this feature was an essential part of her character's identity. The result was a performance that not only paid tribute to Frida Kahlo, but also earned Salma Hayek her first Oscar nomination for Best Actress, and helped the film become one of the best of 2002. Daniel Day-Lewis, Abraham Lincoln. Although this actor was born in England, fate had different plans when he was chosen to portray the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, on the big screen. When director Steven Spielberg decided to bring the life of the iconic American leader to cinema, he had no doubts about who should play the assassinated politician in 1865, even declaring that there was no one else in the world capable of filling Lincoln's shoes like Day-Lewis. The Englishman's dedication was so immense that all the hair and beard he wore in the film were real, needing only minor makeup touches to complete a transformation that left the audience and critics astonished. Despite the 6-centimeter height difference between Lincoln and Day-Lewis, this detail posed no obstacle for the actor, who also lost weight and meticulously adapted to the social behaviors of the 19th century. As soon as the film was released, his portrayal was so precise that historians recognized it as a faithful representation of the president. Furthermore, his ability to capture Lincoln's grandeur earned him the Oscar for Best Actor and secured his place in history as one of the few actors capable of portraying such a great figure with detailed precision. Meryl Streep, Margaret Thatcher. In the film The Iron Lady, Meryl Streep took her acting to an unparalleled level, becoming such a faithful representation of the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom that her performance earned her the Oscar for Best Actress, while the makeup team won the Oscar for Best Makeup. Given their different facial structures, the production required the creation of a silicone prosthesis, a material that not only offered a higher degree of realism, but also allowed the actress to maintain her full expressive capability. This resulted in a more oval-shaped facial structure that aligned with the British leader's features. Throughout the film, which spans several decades of Thatcher's life, the prosthetics were modified and complemented with detailed makeup across all visible areas of the body, convincingly reflecting the inevitable passage of time. Despite having only a few weeks to prepare for her role, Meryl Streep mastered the British accent and captured Margaret Thatcher's steely and determined personality with astonishing precision. At the same time, the third Oscar she won for her work in The Iron Lady placed her in the exclusive group of actresses who have won multiple Academy Awards. Gwilym Lee, Brian May. After casting Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, the producers faced the next challenge of finding the right actor to portray Brian May, the legendary guitarist of the band. After an extensive search, the virtually unknown Welsh actor Gwilym Lee landed the role and, from that moment on, worked closely with the musician to learn every minute detail of his life. It wasn't just about imitation. His task was to merge with Brian's energy and soul, aiming to represent him in a way that honored his long musical career. Both admitted to feeling immense pressure, aware of the huge responsibility of recreating Queen's most iconic moments. The magic happened when Brian, with a mix of astonishment and excitement, confessed that seeing Gwilym on screen made him see himself decades ago, largely because the actor not only mastered his guitar playing style, but also absorbed his character, accent, and even his body language. Even though learning to play like a virtuoso of May's caliber seemed an impossible feat, Gwilym didn't let that intimidate him and delved into the world of chords and strings. While he didn't reach May's virtuosity, he captured the essence needed to make each musical scene true to Queen's story. Robert Downey Jr., Charlie Chaplin. In the early 90s, when production began on a film about the unique and incomparable Charlie Chaplin, big names like Robin Williams and Billy Crystal were considered by filmmakers as the best candidates to portray the comedian. However, director Richard Attenborough made a bold decision that surprised many. He chose the almost unknown Robert Downey Jr. to embody one of the most iconic figures in film history. This role was a turning point in the actor's career, which had up to that point focused on youthful roles, as bringing to life a genius with a style as unique and irreproducible as Chaplin's was no easy task. Once cast, he immersed himself in a rigorous preparation process, which included spending countless hours studying every gesture, Chaplin's unmistakable walk, and his on-screen behavior in The Great Dictator. Additionally, in his commitment to authenticity, he learned to play the violin and to play tennis left-handed, just like Chaplin. Unfortunately, the film did not achieve the expected box office success, but Robert Downey Jr.'s performance was an absolute triumph, which not only revived the figure of Charles Chaplin, but also earned him his first Oscar nomination for Best Actor. Demetrius Shipp, Jr., Tupac Shakur. While working at a Target store in 2007, Demetrius never imagined his life was about to take an astonishing turn. His co-workers nicknamed him Pac because of his uncanny resemblance to the legendary rapper Tupac Shakur, a compliment that at the time seemed just a curiosity. But fate had other plans. Exactly 10 years later, in a twist that seemed written by Tupac himself, Demetrius was cast to play the hip-hop star in All Eyes on Me. At the time of landing the coveted role, this actor was practically unknown in the film industry, with only one production on his resume. But this did not stop him. He threw himself into preparation, dedicating countless hours to watching interviews and music videos of the musician to absorb every detail of the personality that made Tupac Shakur an immortal icon. His commitment didn't stop there. To achieve a complete physical transformation, he lost 13 kilograms and sculpted his body to reflect the musician's image at his peak. The similarities between Demetrius and Tupac go beyond the physical. In fact, the personal connection is even greater, as the actor's father is a music producer who worked with the California Love performer on his final album, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory. Kristen Stewart, Princess Diana. Although Twilight star Kristen Stewart and Lady Di have a height difference of 13 centimeters, this was not an obstacle for Kristen to portray the Princess of Wales in the film Spencer. Stewart's casting as Diana surprised many, but her dedication and talent proved she was more than up to the challenge. Drawing on the wealth of documentaries and videos that captured Diana's life as part of the British royal family, she meticulously studied the English accent and managed to reproduce the princess's voice with such accuracy that it seemed as if Diana was speaking through her. While Kristen's physical resemblance to Diana is not immediately apparent, the makeup, hair, and wardrobe team worked with impressive precision to recreate the princess's looks in her final days. Thus, the combination of Stewart's talent and the team's efforts earned her a nomination for Best Actress at the Oscars for her portrayal of Diana in Spencer. Andrés Parra, Pablo Escobar. In 2012, the telenovela El Patrón del Mal premiered, featuring this Colombian actor diving into one of the most complex and challenging roles of his career, portraying Pablo Escobar, the greatest criminal mind in modern history. The challenge wasn't just to embody a character, but to completely transform into him, to the point where his own identity seemed to fade under the weight of the infamous Medellin cartel boss. Andrés underwent a physical and mental metamorphosis, starting with gaining a significant amount of weight, growing a thick mustache, and perfecting the accent and body language that defined Escobar. His dedication was so intense that, at times, he felt more like the feared criminal than the actor he had always been. This level of immersion in the character took a massive personal toll on his personal life and artistic career, as his deep connection with the role of Pablo Escobar and the emotional burden of portraying such a dark figure led him to turn down a lucrative offer to reprise the role in the Netflix series Narcos. While many consider his portrayal to be the most authentic and powerful of all the actors who have played the Medellin cartel leader, Andrés decided it was time to leave behind the man who, though deceased, remained a threatening shadow in his life. Izan Yunus, Luis Miguel. Luis de la Rosa and Diego Boneta shone by portraying Luis Miguel during his teenage and adult years in the acclaimed series about the Mexican icon. However, it was young Izan Yunus in his portrayal of Luis Miguel during childhood who won the hearts of viewers. With a mix of charisma, vocal talent, and an astonishing physical resemblance, the young Spaniard managed to capture the personality and talent of the Sol de Mexico like few others could. Before landing the role that would catapult him to fame, Izan knew little about the singer of La Bikina. Everything changed when he was invited to witness one of Luis Miguel's concerts and experienced firsthand the artist's energy and passion. For months, he studied videos of the singer's early performances, learning every detail of the musical talent that elevated him to fame over 40 years ago. It's also notable that he performed all his songs on screen, with some viewers even claiming he sings better than the real Luis Miguel. Oscar Jaenada, Cantinflas. Just knowing that Charlie Chaplin called Cantinflas the funniest man in the world highlights the monumental task of bringing the Mexican comedian's life to the big screen. After all, he was the star of over 40 films that still make millions laugh today. For years, countless filmmakers tried to make a biographical film, but always faced the same problem. No actor was capable of portraying him. The story changed when Spanish actor Oscar Jaenada was cast in the role. However, his selection wasn't without skepticism, as many doubted that a foreign actor could bring to life an artist so deeply rooted in Mexican culture. Oscar had to portray not only the Cantinflas everyone knew, with his unmistakable gestures and quick humor, but also Mario Moreno, the man behind the character, and the ups and downs of his private life. As part of his preparation, the Spanish artist spent 4 months living in Mexico City to fully immerse himself in the culture and watched all of Cantinflas's films at least 14 times, studying every movement and expression. With a simple layer of makeup, a perfectly designed mustache, and the comedian's iconic wardrobe, Oscar Jaenada didn't just play Cantinflas, he brought him back to life in a performance that left everyone speechless. Marco de la O, Joaquin Guzman. The TV series El Chapo unveils the chilling story of Joaquin Guzman, who rose to become the world's most feared criminal over 3 decades filled with power, ambition, and downfall. From his humble beginnings in 1985 as a low-ranking member of the Guadalajara cartel to his meteoric rise as the leader of the Sinaloa cartel and his eventual capture and extradition to the United States, the series offers a relentless look at the man behind the myth. To embody this infamous character, Mexican actor Marco de la O needed to commit physically and mentally in a way that pushed the limits of his own body and spirit. His first task was to gain 10 kilos, adopting a 5,000-calorie daily diet, double the recommended intake for an adult man. As soon as filming began, his long 12-hour workdays took a toll on his health, but he persevered with the story. Seeing himself on screen as El Chapo, with every look and gesture, He realized that playing the most notorious criminal of the 21st century over 35 episodes was affecting him mentally until he finally managed to detach from the dark character and return to being Marco de la O. Now tell me, do you know of other actors who closely resemble their historical characters? Share your thoughts in the comments. Here are two options that you'll surely love.